Hey, it's your host Dan once again. Today's project is going to be enabling the shift light in a Pontiac GTO. If you look in the cluster area, namely the tack, right past $7,000 there's that little indicator. That's a shift light. That should come on bright solid red when you hit a predetermined RPM to let you know when to shift. Just did a little research online and found out that none of these cars that were shipped over here from Australia have that feature enabled, which is pretty ridiculous, I think. So today we're going to go through the steps to get that light working properly. It's going to take a special cable, a computer program, and I'm going to have to plug my laptop into the cluster so that way we can reprogram it to get that light to come on. On to making the custom cable here. This is a special cord. It's not just a typical USB. This is a USB to 5 volt TTL cable. There's a little chip in here that converts the signal so it can talk to the car properly. You can't use any kind of just normal regular USB and cut an end off. You have to have this. And I bought the OBD connector, which I put a sticker on it. So this way when I'm done making the cable, I know this is just for the GTO, for the instrument panel. Because who knows, you know, maybe one day somebody might pick this up and go, oh, is this, I can plug it in OBD too and put it in my laptop and I got the tool like the dealer has? No, it doesn't work that way. This is only for programming the cluster in this car. And let's see, I got little screws. We'll put those in the parts tray off to the side. Strain relief, some solder, a screwdriver, tweezers if I need it. And I got my soldering iron here warming up. So it's pretty simple. It's just going to be 2 solder points, 3 wires on the cable. We're not going to use the red on this. We're not using the green. And we're not using the brown. The information for this I found on ls1gto.com. A guy named Shane put up the information. My colors are a little different than his, but I know I have the right colors here that I'm using because the black is the ground and the orange and the yellow, that's my send and receive for the data. So these 3 I'm not using. Like on his, for instance, he used the green wire. So you got to make sure you're using the correct wires. And the ground's going to go to pin 5 on this connector, and the orange and the yellow, that's going to go over to pin 9. I'll pop this apart. You can see here on the connector the way this is labeled. Kind of upside down. There we go. We'll turn it over. Pin 1's here, and then it goes over to 8, then 9 through 16. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a pin 5. There's where our black's going to go, and our orange and yellow is going to go over here to pin 9. Before I start soldering, I just want to take a moment and clip off these leads because they're exposed, and you sure wouldn't want any of this touching together. So we're going to cut kind of one short, one shorter, and then kind of one shortest. This way there's no possibility that they're going to touch together. There we go. I'll get them like that, so when I fold them over, each one's just a little longer than the other one. And let's see, a little simple piece of tape here that'll insulate that off. Okay, so those are taped up. Those aren't going to go anywhere because you don't want those folding over and touching another terminal on the back of this. We only want to make contact with these 3 wires at the 2 points I described. So before I start soldering, I've got to get the wires through the strain relief. Put this on, otherwise I'll never get the chance to. Now on to soldering, which is going to be pretty simple. I already tinned the tip and tinned the leads here. So this one's going to go to 9. I'm just got the iron here weighted down as my 3rd arm. Okay, so now I just got to solder the 5 on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, you're burning me. Move this off to the side so I don't burn myself. And this is going to just fit in here. So I just want to put a wire tie on the cable as an extra strain relief. This way it can't get pulled back. It can't get pulled back through the connector. Okay, I'm going to pull that wire tie real tight. Just clip off the end. This way I can't pull on the cable at all to pull those wires off the terminal. This does allow a little push in. So you know what, I'm going to put a little hot glue in there. Get the glue going out all warmed up. We're just going to squirt in some hot glue. Okay. Get that thing out of the way so that doesn't burn me. Everything wants to burn me or cut me. The hot glue has now had a chance to dry, and I like that a lot better because now I'm pushing and pulling on that cable and the little leads here aren't doing a thing. I don't want one of these to pop off or touch something else. And the 3 leads we're not using, remember I taped those off? That's pretty much in the hot glue here, so that's never going to go anywhere. So I just gotta close her on up and put the screws in. Okay, cable's now complete. The one I bought too is also a 1.5 meter. So this is probably about 5 feet. Give me a little extra length. A lot of the cables I've seen online are, I want to say 3/4 of a meter, so they're only about 2.5 feet. This will give me plenty of room to plug this in and, you know, not have my laptop like right on the seat. Okay, so the cable's done. On the software side of things, that can be found on ls1gto.com under a thread called VZ Cluster Mod Public Beta. Guy put it up. Screen name's 1337 Vending. And I'll scroll down a little bit here. These are all the parameters you can change within your cluster once you do this. And I'm going to scroll in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. Scroll down a little more. Here's where you can get the software from. It looks like it's on his personal site, 1337vending.com /VZ Cluster Mod / goes on a little bit about word on cables, and here, build your own cable here. And it says thanks to Shane, and thanks Shane because you saved me $50 on building a cable. And let's see, once your cable's made, you're also going to need the drivers too. I'm in the car now. Got the laptop here ready to go. The VZ Cluster Mod program opened up. Cable's already plugged in to the port under the dash. So I'm going to do list ports COM3. Okay, that's as expected because everything loaded on COM3. Now let's do open COM3. Serial port was opened successfully. So from here, I can flip on the ignition. And I should be able to hit listen. Control C will stop it. So from here we need to get in one of the tables, table 9. So we're going to do read 9, waiting for heartbeat. No heartbeat detected. So interestingly enough, I'm getting this no heartbeat detected when I had it in the in-car mode. I switched it over to bench and it looks like that worked. And I just did the shift light on. I sent the command preset space shift light dash on before the shift light on is false, and right now it says shift light on true, and I can see the values here: 6,000, 6,200, 6,300, 6,300 for the different gear changes. Preset RPM set equals 4,000 comma 5,800 comma 5,800. Oop, too many zeros. 5,800 comma 5,800 comma 5800. So these need to be about 250 to 300 RPM lower. Let's turn on the logo. Let's try the HSV one, which is number 1. So we have to do preset startup dash logo equals 1. You can set a HSV number. Preset HSV. Preset HSV dash number equals 2004. Let's see what that does. Preset HSV. Let's see if that works. Does that work? Custom text, go Dano go. Ooh. Okay, so my shift light on is true. Looks like I've got all these points changed cold. If it's, I guess, under 185, it'll turn it on at 4 grand. Probably just a little above that. I got the HSV model selected. Looks like my custom text, go Dan go. Speedometer. Corrected on the 2004. And here's how it all turned out in the end. You can see that little custom display message I put in there, go Dano go. I just kind of did that for giggles. I've got the correction applied to the speedometer, so that won't be off by a couple miles an hour. When I flip the key on, I chose to use the HSV startup instead of the Pontiac. It's no big deal. But the main thing I wanted on was the shift light. And the car's cold right now. And I set that for 3,000 instead of 4,000 because otherwise 4,000 is going to be about 4,300, and if the car is totally cold, you really shouldn't probably wrap it up that high. Anyway, so let's test this out. Works pretty well. I really like that. That's the way it should have been from the factory, in my opinion. So in closing on this, I just want to say thanks to all those people who made this possible many, many moons ago, who put the information out there on the internet. I'm just pretty much following in their footsteps. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. As always, thanks for watching.